The Daily Wire's Matt Walsh is turning heads with his new documentary, What is a Woman? And none other than Joe Rogan is giving it a huge shout out. We're going to hear what Rogan had to say. We're going to see why movie critics are actually refusing to review it. And make sure to stick with me at the very end of this video when I'll reveal why Matt Walsh and his new documentary have already won. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And also make sure to click on that link below and visit our good friends over at Goldco. There has never been a better time to invest in the timeless value of gold and silver than right now. And if you've got $50,000 or more in your savings, Goldco is where it's at. They want you to succeed so much that they're going to give you up to $10,000 in free silver when you open up an account. They're one of us, gang, but this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com and let's weather this economic storm together. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Joe Rogan, take it away.
Have you seen the documentary, What is a Woman?
It's my favorite documentary.
No. Have you seen it?
No, you told me about it.
You got to watch it.
It's
wild.
Yeah.
It's Matt Walsh, who's this right-wing guy.
With the beard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has the best deadpan in the business because all he's doing with these people is asking questions. He's not making assumptions. He's not being confrontational. He's just letting them poke
holes in their argument.
Stuff. And it's crazy. I mean, there's this one lady who's talking about babies knowing they're in the wrong body. Babies.
You know,
like, how does a baby know anything? Like, babies sometimes think they're dinosaurs.
All right, so as you can see, he really liked the movie, as did I. I watched the film, found it very, very good. The basic theme throughout the documentary is, if you haven't seen it, is Matt Walsh, over the course of an entire year, is asking far-left activists, particularly in academia, a very, very simple question. What is a woman? And no one, I mean, literally after a year of asking the question, not one of these advocates and activists could answer the question. Here's a sample of what Walsh encountered. This is from his appearance on the Dr. Phil show.
That's a question I would like to throw out to other members of the panel, actually, because just like the 4-year-old can't answer what is a girl, well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman? Well, can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks different for everybody.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well, that's
how do you define a female?
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct. Is a biological female.
So what happens if we have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? Cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce. Maybe doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not myself.
You used the word, so what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
that describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently. And so trans women are women too.
Okay.
And you want to hold on.
You want to reduce. You won't even tell me what the word means, though. So that's the problem.
You want to reduce women. You want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're saying.
What you want to do is what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood.
Okay.
And turn it into basically a costume that can be worn.
Now, you'll notice what Walsh is doing there. It's actually quite brilliant. What he's revealing on the part of his guests is known in logic as a performative contradiction or a performative inconsistency, right? So this is when you have an irreconcilable clash between the action one is performing and the content of that action. So, for example, if I were to say, I cannot express myself with words, right? What's wrong with that? Well, I'm using words, right? That's my action in order to deny that I can express myself with words. I'm actually affirming what I'm purporting to deny. It's like saying I can't speak a word of English. My actions and the content of my actions clash. And that's what Walsh is revealing here with these guests. They're using terms in a way that assumes objective definitions for those terms, while at the same time denying that any such objective definition exists. You see, the only way we can speak intelligibly to one another is if we share a common meaning system. The words that we use have a common meaning, a definition that we both share. Otherwise, we can't verbally communicate. This just happened to me the other day. I came home all sweaty from a long walk, and my wife was making dinner, and I said to her, abiru, which means in Japanese, my wife's from Japan, it means in Japanese, I'm going to take a shower. She responded to me by saying, oh, I'd love one. And then I realized she thought I said, do you want a beer? I said, abiru, right? But she thought, do you want a beer, right? The sound beer means something very different in Japanese than it does in English. And the only way we can intelligibly communicate with one another verbally is if we share a common meaning system with each sound having definition to it, which comes from the Latin definire, which means to set boundaries and distinctions. So Walsh is pointing out here, and he does this throughout the entire movie, that these activists are engaged in a protracted performative contradiction. Their use of words assumes an objective definition that they, at the very same time, purport to deny. Their use of words assumes an objective definition that they, at the very same time, purport to deny. And Walsh's ultimate argument is that this far-left movement, as a whole, embodies this very contradiction and therefore cannot possibly be true. So with that, one of the interesting developments since the release of the movie is the fact that no one's reviewing it. When the Daily Wire launched the movie some weeks back, they, of course, invited a number of critics to view the film and evaluate it. But as of yet, not a single film critic took them up on their offer. Oh, sure, you got your rabid ideologues over at Rolling Stone who pushed one of their typical triggered hit pieces, but nothing from any major reviewer or publication that I know of. I mean, I was impressed to see a site called Hollywood Elsewhere. They published actually a very reflective piece on the documentary, and here's a portion of what they wrote. Quote, the main impetus behind the hardcore progressive wokester cabal is not just about showing compassion and acceptance for historically marginalized or put upon communities such as African Americans, women, LGBTQ, transgender, but also about bending over backwards to make things right by abruptly and radically reversing biological embeds. One way of achieving this is by threatening sensible centrists and left moderates with toxic social media accusations and even career destruction. Either you're with us or you're a racist or a sexist or a homophobe or an anti-trans bigot. Either you're with us or you're a crabgrass and you need to be yanked out of the soil. I can't wait until these fine folks are on the run and searching for tall grass. That's pretty impressive stuff, and it reminds me precisely of what we went through with our own documentary on the rise of the American patriot, right? How to this day, we're still getting all this woke hate because we actually beat cancel culture. Two different venues, as you know, canceled us for the premiere. And so this wonderful church at the last minute opened up their massive sanctuary and their amazing sound system with a full movie theater screen and everything. And we got to show the movie to over 1,200 patriots, all the while a measly 6 or 7 protesters stood outside. And by the way, we're about to launch our Return of the American Patriot nationally, and this is your chance to be featured in the movie. If you click on the link below to donate to our film fund, for any donations over $50 as a thank you, you're going to have your name featured in the ending movie credits as a Turley Talks Productions founder. Any donations over $150, you're going to be invited to a live VIP video session so we can meet and greet before a live virtual premiere of the movie with me and with the producer and the director and the writer of the film. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. So just click on that link below, check out the trailer, and contribute whatever you can and help spread Patriot hope as far and as wide as possible. But just to finish off this strange silence among movie reviewers, you know, Glenn Lowry of Brown University, a wonderful scholar who's been on the front line studying the social effects of political correctness and wokeism, and he's a huge critic of both PC and woke culture. He notes that self-censorship is basically the fuel that drives political correctness. Wokism, or PC, uses intimidation and threats as a means by which people end up self-censoring. They just don't think it's worth the hassle, right? And all the barrage of attacks they know they're going to get. But what's so fascinating is that more and more pundits are realizing that more and more people, most especially those on the political left, the center left, want nothing more to do with what they rightly perceive to be a radically intolerant and highly inflammatory neurotic movement. Any movement that embodies an obviously ridiculous performative contradiction can only persuade by means of intimidation and threat. They certainly can't persuade by means of logic or reason. And so rest assured, in the midst of all of the hysterical meltdowns and hyperbolic accusations, far more calm and rational heads are prevailing. And that, in the end, is what Matt Walsh and his movie are really all about. Now, before we go, you definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on the founder of the Weather Channel crushing CNN on live TV on the climate change hoax. It's absolutely going to make your day. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.